Welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News with Joe Staples and the legend Scott Allen. And
I'm glad you finally realized.
well, I put that in there, but I want to make one thing known tonight before we get started. Good, you know how life imitates things. Well, his racing career is pretty much being imitated in these picks we're having, because I've won two and you won two, and he ain't won nothing. So I just want to let that be known that.
Hey, I'm better at this than I am that.
Well, we're not really seeing that right now. We're not really seeing that at this point. So
We gotta say, the race was pretty good. We had a good time there. Sorry we couldn't get Joe to be there, but hopefully we'll get our stuff approved for Charlotte. And that will be a fun thing. Hopefully we take a few days and go down there early. Well, I would say first we're probably going to start off with like the nationwide race. For Chase Elliott to beat Kyle Busch, I think everybody everywhere thought that after that caution that Kyle was coming, including me, and I'm sure you probably thought the same thing. And he held him off. He just couldn't. He had a good enough car.
Well, he made it through the traffic a whole lot better than
he
Kyle
pushed the issue a little bit, which is okay. I mean, he did it and got unscathed, and it was a great race. They had some local guys or some guys that got some opportunities. Josh Berry, you can't say enough for Josh Berry.
Did a great
ended up,
job.
What, 7th or 8th?
Seventh. He was seventh.
And I asked him afterwards about what did he think when he passed Kyle Busch, and he's like, "Man, I just passed Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch." I can imagine a late model guy be pretty excited to pass Kyle Busch on the racetrack, legitimately racing.
Yep.
Not that he had a problem, he went by him or something like that, but he raced Kyle Busch and passed him. He did a really good job. He was in really good equipment. Obviously, the other two cars ran really well. One of them won. So if there was a car to get in that week, that was the team to be in to go. Right. Matt Waltz, we got to give a shout out to him. He did the best he could with the
equipment he had,
with the opportunity that he had.
Yeah.
He made the race. They had motor problems. The throttle broke. I mean, it's just I really hope Baker's Crust, which was on the car, and what was the
Radley Chevrolet,
and Scott Abshire from
Acredale Vending.
Acredale Vending was the big sponsor on the car. Hopefully that maybe somebody will step up from one of those three and give him another opportunity. But thank those guys for giving Matt an opportunity to further his career. I seen earlier that I'm on the wrong page.
Austin Hill won the K&N race, and he's going to be with us in 2 weeks.
I thought he was going to win the road race at VIR when we were there until he drove off the racetrack. We'll have to ask him about that. How mad was he when he drove off the racetrack?
He couldn't have been but so happy.
I could imagine. I seen Mason Mangus is getting an opportunity at Chicago.
I saw that, and he's in the Obica car.
Mm-hmm. So great opportunity for that kid. Derek Cope has got signed a sponsor. This is kind of interesting. I seen that Brian Scott is unsure of his 2016 plans. He wants to go cup racing, and he's still frustrated that he hasn't won a nationwide or an Xfinity race.
Yeah,
so he's kind of he wants to stay. He's talked to RCR about staying at RCR in a cup car, but I don't know how that whole is going to turn out. He's got his grandkids coming up, but he hasn't found a sponsor, and Brian has sponsorship, but he wants to be there, or he said with an affiliate with RCR. So I mean that could be an opportunity over at Furniture Row. So it'd be interesting where Brian ends up next year. It sounds like he wants to make that next step, but where can he fit in? He's open to all options. So, and I can't imagine somebody I'm going to say J-Ski, I'm going to call him out, that would put on here that Jeff Green sets the records for last place finishes. Who the hell would even put that out there? I can't even believe I wasn't even going to say anything about it, but I just had to call him out.
Ask Al Pierce. He'll tell you all about it.
Yeah. I know Earnhardt said he's looking for some more sponsorship for Josh Berry, which is great.
He says he's one sponsor away from getting there, and I hope he gets it because
he deserves.
He showed he could do it.
Mm-hmm. Didn't tear the car up. I don't even know if it had a scratch on it. There was one other kind of news. I can't remember. Avocare going on Chris Buescher's car for 6 races. That was kind of big.
Yeah,
being there on a Cup car. I think that kid is going to end up in somebody's Cup ride. Somebody's going to be out of a Cup ride.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know who it is.
Well, I talked to somebody down there today.
The 6 car?
At the 6 team, let's put it that way. And the word is there may be some changes coming.
But it needs to be.
So you may see, I'll just come out and say it, Advocare more than likely will stay with Buescher and move Buescher up. And I'm hearing that Trevor Bayne may be the guy going somewhere else. That's what I heard today.
And Trevor Bayne is such a nice kid. It's kind of a shame those guys haven't run. Since he's been sick, he just hasn't gotten back to where he was. And
I think
it's not him and the equipment they're in. The equipment is not up to par.
I'm hearing that he will possibly, he may be possibly moving over to the Petty team. Possible. That's not, that's just one of the things that came up. Nobody said a word. But then I also heard he may step back down to Xfinity and run next year with Roush.
The kid's got an ability to drive a race car. It's just a matter of sponsorship and Roush just said this is the first time Roush has not made the chase.
Right.
We've said all year those guys are dying a slow death.
Yeah, and that's not very good over there at all.
And I would say in the chase part of it, we've got to give the 27 car, it's his first chase. Paul Menard. For a real quiet kid that, a lot of people give a lot of grief to because his dad sponsors him.
But have you ever, in the last few years, would you ever imagine a chase and no Roush cars?
No.
That's amazing. To me, that is truly amazing. You have no Roush cars in the field for the chase, and I believe only 2 Fords out of all the cars out in there. All 4 Gibbs cars made it. 3 out of 4 Hendrick cars made it.
They led all but 25 laps.
Yeah.
All but 25 laps.
And there was several laps there they ran 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And that was.
All right. Now, so let me ask y'all, in the list of guys that are in the chase, who is a chase contender? Who do you think is a guy that legitimately has a shot at the championship? We got Jimmy Johnson. I would say Jimmy Johnson is one.
No.
I would say Kyle Busch is one.
Kyle Busch.
I'd say Matt Kenseth definitely is one. Mm-hmm. Logano. Harvick. You think Harvick is one?
Yes.
I think those are the guys, and I want to say probably a question mark on Carl Edwards. I'm not sure if he's a real contender in the championship or not. So a kind of question mark for me on that. Earnhardt, I don't think he's a contender.
No.
He's in the chase, but he'll run okay, but I don't think he's a contender in the chase. Brad, I think it's kind of a question mark too. I'm not sure if he's quite a contender for the championship.
I don't think they're ready yet. I think they're a little bit behind compared to everybody else.
Yeah, and I would probably put Hamlin in that same category. I don't know, especially with his injury, if he's really going to be a contender. And I think the ones that are just kind of lucky to make the race, Boyer, Menard, Newman. I'm not going to say Gordon. I'm going to say Gordon is sort of in that category with Kurt Busch and
they can get things dialed in. They can do anything. But
they can. He's a past champion. He's got, yeah. He could surprise us and be the Tony Stewart of the chase one time.
That'd be an awesome finish, too.
Yeah.
It would be.
Truex is kind of in that category. I think they're just lucky they made the chase, and I don't see them contenders. They it'll be curious of who's not going to make it on each round. It's going to be fun to see those things. Who steps up? And I think like Earnhardt said after the chase or after the race that you're going to have to take chances, and most of those guys took chances last year, and you're going to take some chances. And if you can luck up into a win, you're going to be guaranteed in the next week, and then you can try some stuff.
I agree. It's going to be I just think the bottom 4 that you're looking at right there that just made it in, it could very well be there to be the first 4 out, because I really don't see Boyer unless of course he runs good at Chicago, so that's a possibility, but I just don't see it. But anyway, that's for them to decide.
And everybody's complaining about the restarts. It seems like it's coming out of the garage more than it is the fans. And I know we've all been involved in racing. The restart is the only advantage, or controlling the restart. Yep. And that's what the leader gets the privilege of, is controlling. And just because he jumps a little early, yeah, everybody else is probably going to complain, and they are. They were all complaining about it. The 22 was really complaining about it. So did the 43, Eric Almirola, said he went like 4 car lengths too soon. I think they need to open this is just my opinion, I think they need to open the range up of where the restart, instead of this small, tight box, because it's hard to play a little bit of a mind game to get a little bit of an advantage on somebody. But I don't want them just leave it alone. Let the drivers control
I don't care where you move that thing. It's still going to happen.
Right.
It's never going to change. It's been that way since day 1 racing started. It's not going to change.
But that's the leader's privilege.
And it's going to. It's just part of the game, and it's going to be that way. And he gets to do that.
Yeah, he's the one that sets the pace until you get to the start line.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The only thing that I see, that he gets a little bit of a start and then he lets off and everybody else takes off.
Right.
I can see that being a problem.
That could tear cars.
I can see that being a problem. All right, but then as far as everything else, it's been going on. Everybody's complained about it for years, and it's not going to change. Who's going to come up with a better plan? The only way you can do anything better is put them at a stand and start and say go.
Yeah.
So
what about?
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah. Now, what about Michael McDowell? I didn't really get to see the video. I looked for it. I couldn't find it.
I saw it when it happened. Because I'm sitting there going, I remember I hit you and I said, did he hit the truck?
I mean, tore the car all to pieces.
And
I
I saw him, and then the thing came up where, and I looked at Scott. I said, didn't he hit the truck?
Well, I've got the DVR, so when I seen it, I shook my head. I'm like, wait a minute, what had just happened? And then of course I rewound it, and I'm like, man, he just hit that truck.
And like he said, he made the comment he's embarrassed for his team and himself and everybody else for what he done, but at least it wasn't like Juan Pablo when he exploded the thing.
Yeah.
So.
But Eric Almirola put a great effort in. He made it fun. I was hoping to see it because I wanted to. The chase this year wasn't as drama as it generally is.
Yeah.
But hey, it's what it is. But Eric made it interesting there the last caution, because I was like, man, because before that caution come out, I don't think he had enough time to get there, but he was certainly running the leaders down. He had a better long run car, and man, that was for sure a Matt Kenseth show. Mm-hmm. He put on a clinic Saturday night.
He sure did. He didn't stay behind long. Every time he had a chance, he was out front.
And I will say, I'll give our arena racing a little shout out. I seen that Richmond International give Jeff Gordon something. I seen a picture of it, but the front end was an arena car, and you open the hood and it had stuff built in there. So I'll just give arena a shout out.
Cool.
Supposed to be some big announcements coming soon from Ricky Dennis is what he said. So we'll see what that's all about.
And of course, we had a good time sitting around, and we had a racing round table while we were up there. We were all around a set of tires, and everybody was voicing their opinions on stuff. And once again, everybody don't want to listen to what I got to say. So that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But if I come out again, I don't want to hear it.
What other big news was it? No, I mean, we got
You didn't
tonight.
mention anything about Chad and
Well, I mean, Jimmy was re-signed.
Okay.
Chad was re-signed earlier. I know one report said they were both re-signed the other day, where they both weren't. Jimmy and the sponsor
weren't.
was re-signed.
okay.
Chad re-signed. He still has some time on his contract, if I remember
I don't
correctly.
know exactly.
But he was signed a year or so ago
Okay.
to a different time frame. So Jimmy is re-signed, and the sponsor has re-signed. It's not what everybody thinks it is.
Yeah, because it said 2 and 2.
Well, both of them were signed for 2 years.
Okay.
So it was two. Jimmy Johnson and the sponsor were signed for 2 years. That's 2 and 2.
Okay.
So, yeah. But a pretty good show. We got Brian May, who's going to be
He's supposed to be calling us.
calling us here in a few minutes. Local Langley Speedway driver that runs in the Legend Series. And I can't remember which we'll ask him.
7, 5,
We won his first race in 9 or 11 years.
1, 3, 0, 8, 1. Say answer or ignore.
Now joining us on the show. How you doing, Mr. Brian May?
Hey, how y'all guys doing this evening?
We're doing great. We're doing wonderful, and got Jack Dodson and the legend Scott Allen and Joe Staples here with us tonight. And so first of all, let's get a congratulations out. You finally got that win in that Legends car. How was that for you?
Oh, it was great, man. We've been working for that for so long now, and to finally get the win at Langley, I was so excited, man. I didn't know how to feel. I was full of emotions that night, and just taking that victory lap around Langley Speedway was just wonderful.
Was it everything you dreamed it to be?
Oh yeah. Just working at it for so long and coming up so short, coming in second, countless times at Langley and other places, it just felt great.
So everybody will know how long had you had been racing before you got this win?
I've been racing Legend cars since 2004, so I guess that's about 11 years there.
Man, I'm telling you, man, it's exciting to talk to you and hear your excitement of winning. I mean, it's a cool story to be running that long and then finally to get your first win. And I mean, I know how it feels. I don't know about Jack, what it is to win a race, what that feeling's like. So I can relate to you.
Ouch.
Brian, don't.
But yeah, it was a good night. I mean, I'm just glad we were able to put it on the pole and lead on the laps. I know that's not the best of racing, but when you do win a race like that and you haven't won in so long, that it really does feel good.
Yeah, you led flag to flag, right? You led the whole thing.
Yes, sir. Coming down to the start-finish line, the second place guy, he got on my inside. We kind of got together there at the start-finish line, but yeah, it was a good, clean racing, and we led all the laps.
So where did the number 22 come from?
Well, that's my sponsor, Bob Silva. He owns a heating and air conditioning business, and you know anything about the Freon.
Oh, okay.
R22 is the main Freon we use, and that's pretty much where it came from, and it stuck, so.
That's pretty cool.
Now, Brian, tell us a little bit how you got started in racing and how you got to this point. And I've talked to Brian Morehouse, and he's told us a few things, but you tell us how you got started in racing and how you got to this point.
Well, I started out helping Bob Silva on his grand stock way back when, probably in 1998, when Jamie Good and Mark Woods, they were all out there racing for a championship, and just started out there, and then we moved up to the Mini Cups in 1999, and did that for a year. And then we built a super truck, a mini truck out there for Langley. Raced that for 3 years, and got a couple wins at Southampton and 1 or 2 at Langley. And then we moved up into the Legends in 2004, and there we've been since. So.
Why did you decide to run a Legends car? I mean, was it a financial thing, or is that something you wanted to do, or why did you decide on that?
Well, I guess there was a couple of factors. It was just a draw. Back then in the early 2000s, there were so many cars out there, and it probably had the highest car count next to the late models back then. And I just always watched them every weekend we were out there, and it just seemed like so much fun. And there was a lot of competitive racing, and we decided to get one. And the late Dale Lemons, he kind of took me under his wing. Because I was the young gun coming in there, and I was pretty competitive, and not a lot of the other older guys like that. And he was always there helping us out every week, and I just loved it, man. It was so much fun having 25 cars, being so competitive, just running in packs like we used to, and it was just the draw of that really took me to the Legend car.
You got something, Jeff?
Well, I didn't want to take any credit from your win, but I did help your dad with the adjustment of that choke on that back carburetor.
Now wait a minute. Now I see a conflict of interest here.
Yeah, I know. Well, his dad had helped me with the track lighting, and then he called me over and asked me if I'd help him with the choke on that carburetor and hold it open for him while he got it adjusted right.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So I was just returning a favor. No favoritism.
No favoritism.
I appreciate it.
So, what do you think you will move up and do something different in a few years, or are you satisfied being where you are?
Well, I guess you're never really satisfied where you're at as a race car driver. We would love to move up. We just really don't have the finances to get in anything bigger like the late model stock car. But if I ever got to the opportunity, I would love to. That's for sure.
So what else have you raced? I was kind of dozed out first. I was looking at something else. What else have you raced at Langley?
Like I said, we ran the mini trucks for 3 years, and then we also ran the mini cup cars there at the HRKC for a year back in 2000, and then pretty much just Legends ever since.
Now you said you raced at Southampton. Tell us a little bit about your experience out there. That's where I raced at, was at Southampton.
Oh man, I love Southampton. We went up there and raced the truck.
Brownie points.
I guess they were trying. We had a couple of trucks down here in Langley that wanted to go up there and race with. I think they were the Pure Fours, maybe. I think we raced the same race, and that was a good time racing with the front wheel drive cars with the trucks. I just love that place. I wish somebody would buy it when you go back and race there. I'd love to take the Legend around there a couple laps. Yeah,
I live about 8 or 9 miles from there, and it's hard to go by there and see it being like it is now. I mean, that was so much fun back in the day.
It was a blast, man. I had so much fun racing out there on that high bank, and going down the backstretch and having the steering wheel pretty much turn to the right, trying to get straight down that backstretch. That was probably one of the best tracks I've been on. Just bank wise, I really had that one figured out. I think it's a lot easier to race with banks than it is at a flat track like Langley.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So who helps you on the Legends car?
It's pretty much my car owner and main sponsor, Bob Silva. Silva's sitting in there. He's been with me ever since the beginning. Just standing behind me, telling me I can do it week in and week out. I guess I probably showed him that I could do it in a Legend car a few weekends ago.
You probably still got like PermaSmile on, don't you, from that win?
Oh yeah.
How many more races do you have?
What's that?
How many more races do you have out there this year?
We have one last race. It's this Saturday coming up, and we're 5 points out of first place. We're second in point.
Ah.
Yeah, so we're close. If we get, anything can happen at racing, So, we had a car count. If we have the 9 cars or 10 cars like we had last week, and I can maybe win the race, maybe I can get that points championship as well to go along with that win.
Who's leading the points?
It's the 71, Chris Horbrand. He's been strong all year. He had 4 wins in a row. I finally snapped his streak 2 weekends ago, so I just felt good about that. But he's a good guy, man. All the guys out there are really helpful and good competitors. And we race clean week in and week out. Knock on wood, we haven't tore anything up this year. Nobody really has, so that's good, keeping the cost down.
So have you ever thought about going down and doing the races in Charlotte? I know they had a big Legends race down there a few years ago. I don't know if they still do it or not, but I know they got a lot of Legends races there at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Have you ever thought about going down there?
Yeah, I would love to go down there. We just during the summer shootout, that's usually when they have it. I think it's about 6 or 7 races they have going on for the summer. And with the heat or the air conditioning business the way it is around here in the summer, we usually can't make it down there. I'd love to one day though.
Don't they have a winter?
They have a winter series too, yeah.
Oh, didn't they?
They have a winter heat as well. That's right.
They just had a big race in North Carolina this weekend too, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they did have a qualifier for the national.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I think it was either 1,000 or I think it was 1,000 to win.
Wow.
But we couldn't make it down there for that one.
Now, has Jackson and them tried to talk you going out to Shenandoah or Southside?
We thought about it. We went up to Southside once this year, and of course we get up there, it rains cats and dogs, so they canceled it. So we made the trip up there once this year, but we got rained out, so we just hadn't made it back up there this year. We want to run there next year, a full schedule, but we'd like to get another car before we go up there. I just don't like tearing my Langley car up at other tracks. I've done that before, and it's just so hard to get a Legends car right for Langley, and then just to go somewhere else and tear it up.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, we appreciate you spending some time with us tonight, Brian. It was really nice talking to you.
Yeah.
Hope you get another win and get that championship.
Yeah, congratulations too.
I appreciate it very much, and I thank y'all for having me on this evening.
All right, well, we'll get you back on here, and you get that championship or another win, we'll get you back on here again.
All right, yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Brian.
All right, bye-bye.
How cool. I mean, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a nice kid. I don't really know Brian that well, but man, to 11 years, win your first race, I mean, I can't imagine the excitement that he had. I mean, my excitement in winning my first. I just remember, winning my first race. I can remember the last few laps. What team is that?
NC State.
Oh Lord.
Oh, excuse me. Grandpa being Grandpa again.
Winning my first race, I can remember my legs shaking and being so nervous, and to win, I just can't imagine 11 years.
Have you ever experienced that?
I do like how he could go revisit. He could pull in the parking lot and stop, and then turn around and go back out and just relive.
Relive that experience at that track.
That was a good one, Joe.
I'm sorry, but
he kids because he cares.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, God.
That's all right, Joe. All of a sudden, you started talking, and now
my name's on the list again.
All right. Well, I guess we're waiting on Buck to call.
No, we got to call Buck. I'll give you his phone number.
Oh, hold on, man.
Pretty cool. We got Penske.
Yeah, I see that. Penske.
That was pretty cool. Oh, Buckaroo. Buck Russ. Oh, you probably can't see that. That's 804. Will you be ready now?
No, now you got me where I can't stop now. Well, you got me so confused. I don't even know where I'm at here. Let's see if that's right.
No.
Huh? Oh, we're really smart here. We're on the game today.
Take that out.
Oh.
15 minutes in the interview, we find out we got the wrong person.
Hey, we did that one night.
Did you?
Oh
really?
yeah, I don't know how many times I called him the wrong person.
Oh.
Yeah, we did that one night.
Who
That
was it? It was
Mason Mingus and Mason Mitchell. We had them mixed up.
Oh no.
and just coincidentally we called the other one, so it really got. Ruh-roh. Uh-oh. I'm trying to change the picture. We
What
might
happened?
we might have to start over. Oh, no, we're good. We're good. You got a little delay there. We're sorry.
We're back.
Uh-oh.
The number you have reached, 440-6444, is not in service. If you
No.
have reached the
That's what you put down there.
That's not it. Let me put it in.
Let us dial it.
The number you have reached, 440-6444, is not in service.
Boy, I tell you the truth.
Technically,
They gave you the books and they sent you to school and you still can't learn.
Well, actually, we haven't seen a phone quite that old. So.
Oh, he's still firing over.
Answer the phone, Buck.
Hello?
How you doing, sir? Is this Buck?
Yeah.
How you doing? This is Jack Dodson and Scott Allen and some guy on the end down there. I can't think what his name is. And we're glad to have you on the show tonight.
Yes, sir. Glad to be on with you guys.
Well, give us the update and how glad you are to get that race down here at Langley, because we are really happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's been, it wasn't too hard of a twist, but it was, about 5 years in the making, because it was really on board. What I found out after talking to them, the staff clicked in with a low basis, and they thought it was further away than this one. So, we got it all straight, so yeah, definitely ready, and Denny's all excited, his family's all excited, everybody's just thrilled to be back down at Langley.
Cool. I mean, we're excited about having it down here because I really, I haven't been to one in a while, so I want a chance to get to that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's definitely spectacular, and got to talk to a few different drivers this weekend, and a bunch of them definitely want to come. It's just trying to fit it into their schedule, make sure we don't interrupt any kind of sponsorship obligations and all that kind of good stuff that pops up at the beginning of each test season.
So, Buck, tell people how the whole thing started.
Well, it really just started as a little bit of bumping the elbows in 2000. Then he was getting ready to start his rookie year in late model stock car at Southwest Speedway, and I actually he got the car. And we were sitting afterwards looking at it, and we were sitting on a couple of little 5-gallon buckets. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, you know what? Once you get famous, we need to go ahead and bring you back to race against the local late model guys. And he looked at me and he said, that'd be a pretty cool idea. Well, lo and behold, everything worked out. He worked up the ladder and went to they came back and gave me a phone call today, Nick, and we found a car for me to race. And me and Curtis wanted to go back to Southside and race. And that was 07, and of all things, we hadn't started the foundation as of that point. And he came back and he finished up in the Chris Hopkins at Southside Speedway, and it was just him and Curtis, and then we finally got the foundation up and running, and in 2008 we had the first Denny Hamlin Tour Press shootout.
I lost one. I mean, did you see the potential in Denny in late model then? I mean, did you think he had the ability to make it to where he's at now?
Well, there's a few guys around here that I've seen do such things and just not get the break. Eddie Johnson was Brady Danny, several of those guys where they had to try to flip their own bill. And just, the financial aspect of racing in the upper echelon is just astronomical. So when I saw him do what he did in mini stocks, rolling into Langley and Southside Speedway in 97, and saw what he did in Grand Stock rolling into Southside in 99, and then he ran second just about a good two-thirds of the races at Southside Speedway in 2000. And then all of a sudden it puts him until 2002, ironically enough, to win his first late model race. But after that, it was John Taylor who won over the 50 late model race in less than 2 years.
With the success that this has had with the different people that have come in to race in this race, how do you go about getting the people to volunteer to come race the cars, and how do you get all that together?
Well, it was at first the foundation actually rented the car. That's why we didn't actually capitalize on as much money as we could. We were renting limited late models for the first 2 years, for most of the truck guys and truck and Xfinity guys now. And they come in, on the dime of the foundation. All they had to do is thing themselves. So when we need the late model stock cars, that dime became a quarter, to be double about it. And they, so now it's like anywhere between $7,500 and $10,000 to rent a late model stock car. There's no complaint there. I understand exactly what's involved in every one of these machines to get them together. And, that's really actually low and all, what you're actually getting. But, it's, I just talk to the guys and we let them go, and then I try to align them as good as I can with car builders or car owners that I know maintain a good product, and just try to make sure that they're going to be in a front-running machine, or a capable front-running machine when they do show up to race.
Now, but this year, and I can only speak for me, it feels like there's a lot more excitement this year being at Langley, and I'm a little biased to Langley because that's where we mostly are to. But this year, it just feels like, as a whole, it feels like there's more excitement around the Denny Hamlin Showdown. Does it feel like that to you?
Well, I think it was the way that we sat back and I approached him. I said, we've always launched this thing off of Denny saying something at a cup race. I said, this year I want to do something different. I want to launch it at the track. I don't want to launch it from Denny and everybody's just waiting for Denny to announce something, because over the last few years, really, it's been almost February, if not March, before Denny actually announced it. So I wanted to try to get, since we're coming into this new area, we're looking for sponsors to come aboard locally as well as, corporate entities to come aboard and be a part of this event as well. And I wanted to try to get an early start on it. So once I got the green light a week ago, I got together with Chuck and Vaughn and everybody there at Langley and Bill. And we decided that we were going to launch it while the Southern Modified Tour was there, because then we'd have NBC Sports Network. We'd have Tim Sellers from NASCAR Home Track there, and it was able to be something a little bit bigger than we thought, because in less than 5 minutes of us announcing it, I was left back to the power to do the PA work for the NASCAR Southern Modified Tour. And my phone went off, there was Bob Gilmer saying, "Look, go heads up." And then Denny was doing an interview with Florida B. Langdon and Darlington after winning the Xfinity race, and she has already asked him about it being at Langley Speedway. So in less than 10 or 15 minutes, it made its way all the way to Darlington Speedway.
Yeah, it looks like that. The involvement, the people here at Langley are really excited about the involvement in it, and maybe it is a good thing that you moved it there to Langley and then let it race there and move it somewhere else, like back to South Boston or something. It gets the enthusiasm for everywhere.
Yeah, what we're trying to do with it mainly is we built the cup track, of course, in Richmond. So we looked at a centralized area, which is with the International Race Day. And we went to South Boston Speedway. And Kathy and Nick and all those folks with the Matty White and Poconos owned the facility, and Kathy with all of her management staff couldn't have asked for a better spot to work with down there. They were great. They were always very gracious on any requests we had. We always worked and very smoothly worked out any hiccups that came in on the first year. And this year it was almost just as good as icing. There was no problem whatsoever. And it's just, I knew just off the top of my head South Boston doesn't have as many conglomerates around it as Langley does. So what I wanted to do was try to say, okay, 2 years at South Boston, 2 years at Langley, and that way we get 2 years in the other facility to be able to recruit, and the sponsors that want to be a part to recover the money that they put into the event over a 2-year period. So that way when we do come back in that third year to the other facility, they are financially feasible and ready to do it.
How is the accessibility to Langley? How will that affect how the cup drivers and everybody that you want to show up? How is that going to help them? I mean, it's got to be a better situation.
Well, in general, those guys, a lot of them have heard about it, and they've done the same thing Dale Jr. has done, and they've watched it on Fanboy TV and been able to watch racing, and now they know Lee Williams could win down there. They know that Josh Berry came down in Junior's split at home. So it gives them an ease of knowing that, you know, those guys, they can reach out and start talking about what it is like to run the facility. And there's a bunch of drivers that, you know, they ran it on our racing already. I couldn't believe how many people were telling me that in the garage area. Which,
Think about that. So how much was Bill Mullis chomping at the bit to talking to you to get the race there?
Hey, you guys, I think I've actually been chomping at the bit more than Bill has.
Really?
Because in 2011, when we found out that we could not utilize outside people and we had to make a jump, I immediately mentioned Langley. And just because of the limited time that we had to do everything, Jenny and the management all said, why don't we just try to throw it at Richmond, because late models had run there before. And we did that, but then just the overall cost to the team, that's what really started catching up to us, because teams were having to rent engines, refresh engines, buy new gears, buy new shocks and springs, and there was a whole lot of purchasing that had to go on for the first time you ran at Richmond. Most of these teams were spending $5,000 to $7,500 just to come run that race. And that's all you could win at that point. We only had $7,500 as the top third, you know, our top five. So we, you know, after 3 years, I stepped back and I think, gosh, we have to take this local. It, you know, financially, you know, like I was in these teams that are trying to run a full season, and if anybody wrecks at Richmond, that's a race car, you know, 90% of the time. So we just, you know, stepped back from it, saw Kathy Rice and Steve and Nick, you know, and like I said, all that staff down at South Boston, open on 100%, and they were ready to get it done.
How easy has it been to talk some of the local guys into having their cars? I know like Lee's got his own cars, and I'm sure he'll have people driving his cars and stuff like that. But how easy is it to get them to get involved with their equipment?
It's pretty easy. I mean, really, the biggest thing is as long as the rental money's there. It's the same way across the globe. As long as the money's there, everything's good. And so, you know, we get the group together to handle the cars and everything. We put the car in the Mexicans a couple of years back at South Boston, our first race there. And Matt at first, he was like, you know, I don't understand all the front tires chattering and everything. And we come to find out it was just the tires that we had brought from Hoosier that year. It was a different tire than the usual racing tire that they were used to. So when they drove in the corner, the tires were harder, and every single car throughout the field had that front end chatter. Once he figured that out, he knew he was on equal ground, and he ran good in the qualifying, he ran good in the heats, and ended up with, I think, a 7th place finish overall in the feature.
So, Buck, how does people get on the invite list?
Really, it's the initial race in 2010, the 2007, 2008, it was pretty much Southside Speedway car. So we just found people that had extra cars, and we, you know, sometimes paid them a little bit to let a cup driver drive their car instead of them for one night, put some decals on it. But 2010 was just a straight-up invite, and then Brent Carroll and I built the 2011 invitee program, which pretty much bases itself off of the NASCAR Wheel and All-American Series late model stock car national points, and it's up to state points, and then individual track points for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Xfinity or Cup, they're all re-invited if they ran the previous year. So it's an automatic invite every time you run with us.
Now, the field is set at 34, is that correct?
It's going to be 36 is what our first is set at. Yeah.
Okay, 36. So if there's more than 36 show up, do you have a format that, you know, is there going to be like a heat race, or is it just a qualifying, or?
Well, that's what we're working on now. Right now, the last 2 years that we've done is doing qualifying, and then we would run 3 heats, and we take 2 many out of each heat, and of course leave about 4 provisional spots in case any stars had issues and had to get their cars work done, because unfortunately it is a pro-am race. It's just like a pro-am golf tournament where people show up a lot of times, not only just to see their favorite local stars, but to see other stars that we've invited, and they're taking the time out of their schedule to keep it.
All right, well, Buck, I found a few things that were interesting that I didn't know about Buck. Buck is a guitar player, and who is it you play a guitar for?
It's the female wrestler Mickey James. She's being WWE and TNA Impact Wrestling, one-time women's champ. And she does country music, and I've been her lead guitar player on and off for about 5.5 years.
I mean, Buck is just a jack of all trades and a master of none.
There you go.
He plays the guitar. Me and Jack were sitting there watching the nationwide race, and I'm listening to this guy on the radio in between, you know, the cautions and stuff. And I'm like, that sounds familiar, you know. It's like, that's Buck. So I text him like, Buck, are you working here? And he's like, yeah. You know, it's just. So
you just get around everywhere.
I know. I mean.
Yeah, I just growing up around racing my entire life. My uncle threw married racing in Virginia, so I grew up around racing and was qualified most of my young life. My grandmother was a 40-year retired NASCAR official and was a head store at Langley's outside of Southampton, you know, Dennis Paluda. So, you know, I've grown up around the racing my entire life.
And like I say, the first time, I don't know how Buck knew who I was, but he come to introduce himself, and he had a Nationals hat, and that kind of sparked both of us because Ryan Zimmerman, puts his or allows me to put their name on my race car, and they're associated with our show, and they give us stuff to give away, and they've always wanted to have Denny, so we're working on putting that together, and I can't thank Buck enough for kind of taking that on, and I think he's just as excited as I am about the whole ordeal.
Oh, definitely. So, you know me, I like him, but I'm a big Bulls fan. So it was pretty cool to watch him knock a grand slam last night. I was solo late in the game to, you know, help out with the win last night, too. So, yeah, that's something that my daughter and I have become big Nationals fans over the last year and a half, 2 years. And so I'm super excited about the combination. And once I mentioned it to the CFO, Denny's Foundation in North Carolina, he's 100% gung-ho and actually wants to build you know, some kind of event with those foundations teaming up next year to sort of can get the Commonwealth of Virginia behind it.
Yeah, that will be so big. I mean, all around it seems like a match made in heaven, to be honest.
Oh, definitely. You know, the only thing that's sort of just a little stinking trying to make things really neat is just the fact that they cross over top each other's seasons, so it's hard to find a fine timeline to get them both in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, Buck, we appreciate your time tonight. I know you got stuff going on, and we'll get back with you real soon. Hope to see you out at Langley, and we'll talk with you again.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for taking some time.
Thanks, Buck.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
I will tell you, I talked to Buck for a good while after the race, and he is doing a lot of stuff. I mean, I laughed when he told me he played the guitar. He's got to go up to D.C. and play some big event with this woman. I have to Google her because I really don't remember who she was. I acted like I did, Buck. Sorry. But you know, he's the PA at Langley. He's the PA at Southside. He works the PA at Richmond International, and really is a really nice, good guy. And you know, it's a plus that he was a Nationals fan, and when we first introduced ourselves to each other, it was pretty cool, and I'm super excited about the whole Denny Hamlin and Ryan Zimmerman, both of them having the number 11 as their professional number. They both had their rookie year the same year, and They're both professionals in their own sport. It's a great bet, and they're both from Virginia, so it's pretty cool. You calling Matt or Matt calling us?
We're calling him. We're calling him. So
If you just put right up at the top there was a thing you could have just hit call.
Boy, I tell you what. When this camera goes off tonight, there's going to be some.
I like that he's going to go through you first.
Matt Waltz, how you doing tonight?
Hey, good. How are you?
We're doing great, and what we want you to tell us is give us a overall view of how things went Friday night at Richmond.
Oh, definitely wish we could have had a little better finish, but we just really fought some mechanical issues. All day Thursday. Well, I say all day. It's really during practice, but only ran about 10 to 12 laps in practice, and a lot of those were just making a lap and pulling in, trying to fix the engine. So, unfortunately, we had to fight that a lot of it, and it really hurt us in the race, because we didn't get to work on the car any, and we were just started the race way too tight, and it just really weren't able to get it out of it, but overall it was a good experience. It was good to get out there in those race cars and get the feel for them, and get back out to RR, and I really just can't say enough about the guys that are out there took race for giving me a chance. Sky with Dale Pending, and Randall Chevrolet, and Vegas Cuts as well. Everybody's really helped make it a good. It was still a good experience, even though we didn't get the results we wanted. But it was still positive. Everybody still kept a good attitude. Everybody worked really hard to try to get me out there and give me the best shot. So I gotta give them some credit for that.
Yeah. Now your crew chief, was that Tony Furr?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's got to be a pretty good feeling to know somebody like that, because Tony's been around a long time and has got a lot of experience. What was the biggest thing that you learned? I don't know whether it's the difference in the cars, or what's the biggest thing that you took from this weekend's experience?
It's the cars aren't really. I don't know. I say they're not hard to drive, but I didn't really find it very difficult driving wise. Compared to it's not like it was erratic or anything. It was pretty predictable. What the thing was going to do. It was really just good to get out there and get behind the wheel of one of those things and really be able to tell that, be able to do what I got there. Because that leading up to the weekend, that was my biggest thing. I was just anxious, really anxious to get out there and get in the car and get the feel for it. So, other than that, we unfortunately didn't get to run enough practice laps to really learn anything, whether it be how the car, how I drive the car or how we work on it. So,
yeah, and you got a lot of I don't know, some publicity. I seen I know they had a little special on Channel 10, and you were on Sears Speedway or with Claire B. Lane on Friday morning. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I know Claire talked about my brother or something. Just on
Okay.
that, Waffle House, they were up there. My brother works at a dance, and they were right around the corner from him. I know they talked and all, but I guess, what you mentioned there or something on there?
I just remember seeing something about it, and I seen your brother. I just assumed that y'all had went by there and did some stuff. It's still
I
pretty
got
cool.
you. Yeah. I think that he had just talked to him. He saw in the Waffle House some other kind of that they were up there with Dennis Bickmeyer as well, the president of Richmond, and he said something to me too. So that was kind of funny. He said something to me Friday when I was walking off the stage there.
So, Now that you've got that race behind you, are there any discussions of you trying to get back in the car again before the end of the year?
Yeah, there are. You know, we really just gotta see what NASCAR's gonna let me do. I've gotta talk to them, and you know, they gotta make up their mind whether or not. And it's one of the bad things about not finishing the race. You know, I mean, it's still at a DNF, so that doesn't look good statistic wise, but you know, I'm sure they understand the circumstances and what all happened, and then, you know, it's not like I got a DNF because it is something stupid. You know, we just had a mechanical failure, so. We haven't talked to them about it. Nothing official yet, but you know, there's some running more. So we just got to talk to NASCAR and get the guy there, and you know, really just do what he'll let me do, what he's comfortable letting me do. So just got to talk to that, and you know, I talked to Derek, and they're willing to help get some more. So that's good as well. So you know, we really just got to talk to everybody and see how it is, and hopefully we can get some more experience in that series before the end of the year.
Do you have a certain track that you would want to go to next?
I mean, I'm so limited, you know, there's really only like maybe one or two that I'm sure they would even question let me run. But, you know, I've always just wanted to run like a super speedway, you know, like Daytona or something. So I know I can't do that yet, but, you know, definitely want to run one of those.
So what is your schedule? What does your schedule look like for the rest of the year? I know we asked you about that while we were up there, but go ahead and tell the people what your schedule is going to be like for the rest of the year.
Right now we're planning on being back at Langley this weekend for the finale race there. I'm not going to be in my 2-4. I'm going to be running the 34 for Manchester. One, you know, we've been working hard on it all year on that thing, trying to get it back to the racetrack. So, you know, just working on the thing now, as a matter of fact, and we're just going to try and get back out there and run some, and kind of get that thing prepared for this year. You know, we weren't very good with it. You know, once we had kind of just got into the shop, so you know, definitely need to. Well, we've been putting a bigger effort into making sure the thing's right, you know, to my standards, because you know, it's fancy shit when you get a car from somebody else. I mean, there's a lot of ways I'd like to do some different stuff, what we're going to do, but so right now, plan on running Langley this weekend, then we'll be going to Martinsville for the test a week from tomorrow. Yep, tomorrow, a week from tomorrow, Wednesday test at Martinsville. And then running Martinsville, those will test in my 2-4. So, other than that, late model stuff, looking to run Myrtle Beach with 34 cars. That's kind of why we're trying to race it with a local show before a big show. And then just see how it goes from there, maybe Southern National, as long as I'm out of Myrtle Beach, okay, and then, you know, just whatever else we can put together in the meantime. Definitely. I would like to get back in the Xfinity series and possibly a truck, but you know, it really just comes down to money and sponsorship, and you know, if we can partner up with the right people and be able to make something happen, then we'll do it. You know.
Well, I'm sure Scott Abshire with Acredale Vending, he understands the sport, and we'll just give a shout out to him. I know I was trying to hashtag Matt gets a second chance Friday. I was trying to work for you, man. I think you deserve a second chance for sure.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And, you know, I really can't say enough about the guys, you know, Derek and Louise to cope. I mean, what they're doing for me and giving me an opportunity and willing to work with me in the future, you know, as well. I know they were just kind of disappointed we had so many issues, but, you know, and I don't, you know, I know it wasn't their fault. Everybody worked really hard, and I can't get fault for it. But, you know, still just disappointed that we had the issues. But, you know, like I said, can't say enough about them. And Scott Atcher as well. He has been really supportive, and I'm really appreciative of his support and the coach, and being able to help me further my career.
Well, Matt, we appreciate you taking some time out to update us and tell us how things are going. hopefully when you find out if you're going to race again this year with them, you'll let us know, and we'll get you back on here again.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll definitely, I'm sure I'll talk to you, and I'll definitely let you know or as soon as we get something figured out, and then get back on here and give y'all an update on what we got going on. But thanks for having me on here tonight. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you later.
All right, man. We appreciate your time tonight.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Matt.
It was exciting to see him on TV Friday.
Oh, it was.
It was.
It's sad it's finished, but
Yeah, they had so much trouble.
We went down. Brian Morehouse and I went down and talked to him during the day Friday, and saw them guys working on the car and everything. And there was. I mean, it's kind of neat feeling to know that this guy was from the local track and he's trying to make a break here. And you could tell. And he might not admit it, but you could tell he was just a little bit anxious and nervous about what's going on there.
Sure,
And qualifying was getting ready to come up, and did you go down there with us? No, you wasn't there in time for qualifying, but we went down to the pit area during the qualifying, and they were kind of, he was still trying to figure out exactly what he was supposed to do in qualifying. It was really cool. I mean, it was really neat to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a shame that those guys didn't get the runability part of the car, and he really didn't get a full, good lap. But he didn't tear the car up. He did a good job. He gave back good feedback, and to work with somebody like Tony. When I seen him working on the car over there in the pits, they had Tony Furr. I mean, Tony's been around a long time and's got a lot of experience, a lot of older Cup experience, I should say. I believe he was. Did he work with Earnhardt? He was at DEI at one time.
Yeah, he was at DEI one time. Now I'm not sure.
I believe he was Steve Park's crew chief.
But you know what his claim to fame really is?
Tony Furr?
Mm-hmm.
Was there something catch on fire or something?
No,
not mine.
He was with Jeremy Mayfield when he got busted, and that team went after that. He was there for that. No. I asked him about it. We were standing there, and I asked him. I said, I remember seeing you hanging around Jeremy Mayfield. He said, I don't want to talk about Jeremy Mayfield. Then he looked at me and grinned. He said, I don't have a whole lot good to say about this. But did you know Mayfield was at Richmond this weekend? Yes.
He wasn't in the garage.
No, he wasn't in the garage, but he did a some kind of interview with somebody over there in the fan section.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know about Tubbs Adworth because somebody asked me, did you see Mayfield? When we
said we were in the garage. He won't in the garage. I can tell you that.
But they don't understand when we get in the garage. That's pretty much where we stay.
Yeah.
And this was out in the fan zone. I can't remember the last time I even went out there.
Besides walking to the track, that's about it. I mean, sometimes I've gone out to the fans thing because it's kind of neat. Mont loves to go out there, so sometimes I've walked out there with her.
I can't remember the last time I went out. I know at Martinsville, I'm stopping there at Martinsville because it's right there.
We were talking in the motorhome with my aunt and uncle. We were wondering, what are they going to do with that store that they had, the Fan Addicts store they had laid out at Richmond.
You know that section down at the bottom down there where they had the TV stuff and all that stuff in there.
That's about
my understanding is that's where that's going.
That's about the only place it can fit.
And then you're going to see the other stuff move to other places around it.
Yeah, I should have went out there and took some pictures and did a little maybe Periscope. But yeah, but it was fun. We had a good time. We got some other races that we'll be going to. Hopefully Charlotte. It just sounds like it's a pretty good idea.
I'm hoping Joe will be able to go with us to Charlotte because right now he's not. Don't look like he is.
But it'll be fun. And I could give the what is the Onion Garage?
Garlic Garage.
Garlic Garage, man. It's the little kitchen there, and for some of the Cups teams, and we went and bought us a little pass and ate all day, man. You can't beat it if you go to the Cup race. I guess, maybe she liked us. We were a little cheaper than Bucky. Sorry, Bucky Burt. Bucky paid a little extra than we did. But, man, they feed you from the time the garage opens till it closes for not that much for being at a professional place. And they got a good variety of food. It was delicious. They had great food and they had everything you could want. from snacks to, I mean, mashed potatoes. I mean, it was.
You could go in and get your handful of candy and put it in your pocket and go on about your business, or you could go get something to eat.
You can make a big.
And you could
plate
go all day long.
All day long. I mean, you can't beat it. But hopefully, when we go to Charlotte, we'll have media passes. They'll have food there, but we don't have to worry about no food. In Richmond, I mean, they're going.
Let's
down
don't talk
on-
about
You
that.
guys going to the track Saturday? No.
I don't know yet. Depends on if my
I'm
wife's
hoping
working.
to. I'm hoping to, but with everything goes on in my life, I don't know.
Did you go to Charlotte yesterday?
No,
Oh, you didn't?
no, she didn't feel like going down there. And
I'll leave that alone.
That's a baby.
doing good.
Okay.
That was that. Well, I'll show you after it's over with that picture we just got. But anyway, all right. Before we sign off, we have to do our race picks.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad it's the chase now because all those wins y'all had don't mean shit anymore. I mean, don't mean anything anymore. So we're
This
starting
is
over.
Starting over.
Well, that's what happens in the
No,
chase.
no, the individual race picks don't change. This right here changes that. This is another thing y'all have to do. But we're gonna do the race picks, and I'm last again this week.
So we'll.
That's right. I'm first, ain't I?
You're last.
Since I was last. No, wait a minute.
No, Joe. Yeah, Jack's last because he picks last because he's.
Right.
You pick first.
Yeah.
I picked first.
So we're running where we're Chicago this week.
Chicago this week. So Joe, it's on you for Chicago.
I want to take my number 4 car. I want to take Kevin Harvick.
All right, you got Harvick. Clayton Fry, if you're listening out there right now,
Yeah,
you need to send us something because, well, technically you lost.
Oh, yeah.
You were dead last. So we're going to go and make our picks, and you're just going to have to take what's left over.
Right, you have to fill in.
Well, if he'd like to have that number 4, I will let him take that number 4.
Well, you be nice. I'm not going to be that nice.
I'll be that nice. Since he was last, because I want him to be part
But
of
we
this.
don't know if that's what he wants.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if he says that that's what he wants, then let me know, and I'll shoot you my pick real quick.
All right, Scott?
I'm gonna go with cousin Carl. I think Chicago's a good race for him. I believe he won a truck race there. I think.
Where has he not won a truck race?
Well,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna go with cousin Carl. I think the Toyotas. I think that team is just, man, those guys have got a little something. But I won't be surprised that the whole Hendrick thing it will step up in the next race or two. Those guys are working on some stuff. They're working very hard, and they picked up some this weekend. But they're going back to the 15 rules package, which we're going to run from here on out, which they have some history with. So I think that's will help those guys not be looking for something. They can kind of go what they've been going for. So
Well, I'm gonna do something a little strange for me. I'm going with Earnhardt Jr.
yeah,
You know what?
it's not a bad
That's a
pick.
good pick.
I think he runs good at Chicago.
For some reason, yeah, he does. He has a win there,
Yeah.
and he's always seemed to
That was
be.
a fuel mileage race, I think, though, when he won.
But he's always had the big. He's always had good efforts there,
Mhm.
and I think they said last year he was third there, and he's always been in the top 10 pretty
Hey,
much.
what are you doing? Studying for this or what?
And so that's my pick.
That was a yes.
No, I do not.
I gotta say, there's
He
one.
called the bookies in Vegas to try to get his pick.
What's the
man.
statistics? I gotta say, when we go through these rounds that Jack has gladly printed out for us to do our picks on, that we cannot pick the same person in this for like the next 3 races. We gotta pick somebody that can't pick the same one.
What do you mean? Can't
What do you
pick the
mean
same
can't
one?
pick the
So
same
like
one?
next week, I can't pick Carl again until we start over into another round. That's what I'm thinking.
I think you done lost your mind. Well, yeah, we'll play the game any way you want to play. I know you're trying to win one, so I know we got to help
I
you.
got to do whatever I got to do.
Because
I put a handicap. I get to pick 2 or something.
Well,
If you don't pick them this first round, they won't be there to pick them the second round.
And look, and on top of that, you're already handicapped. So
All right, Clayton said he's going with the 22,
All
which is
right.
probably a pretty daggone good pick.
Yeah, it is.
Like I said, I think I don't think the 2 car is quite a chase contender as much as the 22 is.
I agree with you. But anyway, great show tonight. Had a little glitch here and there, but we got through.
Well, who do you think is going to be? Let's just skip down to the final 4 of the race. Who's the 4 as of right now? You would say
it's going to be the final 4.
My final 4 is going to be Logano, Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Earnhardt Jr.
You think Earnhardt's going to make it to the last one? I'm going to have to go with Logano, Harvick, Kyle. You said Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm going to say Earnhardt. I'm going to say...
I would like to see Earnhardt there, but I don't.
Yeah, I do too. I would love to see Earnhardt win one. I'm going to have to say Carl.
Your pick.
And that will probably change. I'm just saying us for our...
I'm just saying with Carl, yeah, he's won 2 races this year. And they have picked it up a little bit, but I just don't know if they're if they're fired up enough to get it. You know, it's like Denny Hamlin. They're good, but they've got good cars, but I'm just not sure they're.
Or it would be Kenseth.
Now Kenseth is a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could just come out of nowhere and win races. So I mean, that's a good pick.
And you just don't ever know when it's coming. I mean,
That's
it's
right.
like.
So before we leave here tonight, those have to be filled out.
Yes.
Ooh.
Because I am going to take charge of them.
I got some white out. I'm like, that's not the one I got.
No, you're going to put your name on it, and we're going to make sure.
I'm going to put depends. Depends on if I win or not.
But anyway, great show tonight. Next week, we got a big announcement coming up next week on the show. And we have one of the original Rainbow Warriors.
Oh, we got him, huh?
Yeah, he's coming on next week.
That is be so cool.
He's now the pit crew coach at Germain Racing. He's also still working for Hendrick also. He does Chase Elliott's pit crew. They brought back some of the original Rainbow Warriors to pit Chase's car this year for the races that he made it into the Cup races.
And if you've followed racing for a long time, you've seen him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a big guy. He carries a jack pretty well because that's what he was. He was the jack guy.
He was a jack man for a while, but he was basically the end of it, the last years he was with the 24 car, he was a rear tire carrier.
Now, was this because didn't now we may not even want to ask him this, but didn't they leave and then come back?
He did, yeah.
Oh, he did.
I'm not sure about everything.
Well, you know, they sold themselves to the highest bidder there.
Yeah, he left, went away, came back,
and those guys went over and I believe won a championship with the '88 car in Dale Jarrett.
Probably, yeah.
Or it's right around there. They may or may not, but I know Ray was pretty upset about it because they just went into the garage secretly, except everybody from Hendrick was bidding on to buy them because they were at that time they were the best in the business.
Right.
And that kind of contributes to Ray Evernham because Ray put that deal together. Says, you know, if you want to be good on pit road, we need guys to just strictly do that. And they created that whole. Yep. Just before that, just whoever in the shop could do a good job changing tires, change the tires. And Ray changed that whole outlook of pit road.
So, yeah, and Jeff Knight left for a little while. He came back, didn't go on the 24. He kind of worked with the other cars there. Then they moved him as a developmental guy. He was kind of helping the new guys in the development. You know, they have their development pit crews. Mm-hmm. He was helping those, and that happened. One of those happened to be the 51 when my son was on the 51, and Jeff was with them on the 51. That's how I got to know him real good. Mm. And
so we got Jeff Knight who's going to be on next week, and Maddie Ryan is making a major announcement. So you'll have to stay tuned if you'd like to find out what she's got plans for 2016. It's big.
So we're going to have a good show next week.
Then don't ask us because we don't know. We just know it's a big announcement.
And even if I did know, I still wouldn't tell you next week.
And thanks to guys we had this week. Matt Waltz making his debut. Buck Royce. Denny Hamlin Showdown. It'd be great that it's at Langley Speedway. I'm glad we're going to be able to be involved with that. And who
Brian
was-
May.
Brian May winning his first race. I'm excited. I don't even really know him, and I'm excited for him for winning his first race.
All right, let's take a minute to thank. We don't do it every week, and we should do it every week. Thank our sponsors, Langley Speedway and Bill Mullis for coming on
Thank
and
those
helping
guys.
us. The Zims Foundation for the things they've given us and done for us, and putting their name out here. Pepsi. I wouldn't make it through it without it. Pepsi and Mountain Dew. Miles of seamless gutters.
You got it right.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank all those guys. What was it? It was one. I just drew a blank. That we were. I don't know. I can't remember. I had something and it just went right out my head. Imagine that.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week. We're hoping to have a great show next week too.